Good morning. How is everybody today? Oh, what a morning. I stayed up probably a little too later than I was supposed to work on an embroidery project that I am very enthusiastic about. So hence, I did not go to bed on time. And I woke up this morning with my throat is a little scratchy and my eyes are a little itchy, and I think I might have gotten a hold of some corn at some point, which is not good, but you live and learn. Good morning, my lovelies. It is Red Moon Eagle with Daily Devotion. It is Wednesday, 6:45 in the morning on November 29th. What a beautiful morning. So I'm going to try this. Let me know in the comments if this helped a little bit. I actually got up. I scheduled the live when I got up. Set myself an alarm so I would remember to go live at the right time, so that it popped up on your notifications on YouTube, hopefully early enough that you're able to join me a little bit more quickly this morning. We are in the tide of preparation. It is the fall equinox to the winter solstice. For those of you who are just joining me, please hit subscribe and the bell icon. The bell icon lets you know when I go live and when anything else is posted. It is Wednesday morning. Wow. To y'all, it probably seems really quickly, but I feel like Wednesday was just Sunday. It's a very busy week. Already. Oh my goodness. I'm actually going to start this morning with Celtic Devotional, and then we'll get to the cards after people who want to join have joined. I'm going to read a Wednesday evening because it's Wednesday. Grandmother wisdom, grandfather understanding, your infinite mercy has held me in loving trust this day as night deepens. Imbue me with perfect stillness and mention that I listen to you. Your presence bestows the gift of winter's insight. I ask your help to show me the mystery of this night. I remember all who cannot ask for help through pride or because they do not know that help is near. And in this space, I lend my prayers. Teacher of the universe, there is no time in life when I cease from learning. Please help me to see where I need to be more receptive to the lessons of experience, that I may be prepared for the path ahead of me. I ask a blessing upon all who are outcast by society, upon those suffering from immune system diseases, upon the homeless, upon the graceless and ugly, upon all the mentally disturbed who have been set adrift in the world. May the holy ones protect them and support them all and lead them to hearts of welcome. For the 9 jewels of the heart that have been the breastplate this day, I give thanks. I gather my soul at the hearth fires of winter, warmth of welcome upon my lips, warmth of rest upon my hands, warmth of nurture upon my being. May the souls of all beings be wrapped in the warmth of peace this winter's night till winter's dawning. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the poetry in this book. Okay, so let's get started here. Looks like I've got the bear. Starts us off. You know, I didn't even really look at these when I drew them about an hour ago. Bear. An earth card. Waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles. But you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When in balance, inner strength yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, heaviness. To bring into balance, movement and exercise. I feel like I'm like the bear every morning. on the cusp of new directions. At first, the movements are difficult. Yes, that would be every morning. Oh, I'm not a morning person, guys. Wow. Really struggling this morning. This is my second cup of tea. I'm still not moving. Okay. Let's see what magic we got in this one. Oh, more bears. Bears are the theme. Except these are panda bears. They're beautiful. I love pandas. Red pandas and white and black pandas. Okay. With hope in your heart, you will activate the helpful spiritual intelligence needed for creative healing resolution. No matter how great the odds may seem, difficult will be transformed into opportunity and soulful manifestation. New possibilities will arise from that which is outmoded, although you will spontaneously manifest compassion if required. An underlying gentle approach will conserve your energy and attract all necessary resources to you. You are destined to evolve beyond the problematic situation into a more abundant, restful, and supported reality. So gracefully at home, climbing amongst the forests of bamboo, the red panda is known as the Nepalese word for bamboo-footed. Both species of panda, the black and white giant panda, and rather more aerially inclined red panda, rely on human conservation efforts to offset threats to species survival due to hunting and the degradation of habitat. Pandas invite us to treasure the interrelationship of humanity and the animal kingdom. Panda can evoke humanity's growth to conscious, constructive, creative guardians of Earth and her many creatures. In connection with Panda, we can reflect on how to best contribute to society and our planet, where we can acknowledge and offset the impacts humans have made on the environment, and how we can live more cooperatively within the planetary rhythms of Mother Earth, something which Indigenous peoples have long understood and demonstrated. There is hope for Panda while there is hope in the human heart. Humans have demonstrated a willingness and capacity to work towards repairing damage, an expression of the resilience and reparative intelligence of nature herself. The medicine of Panda encourages hope and invites acknowledgement of the goodwill and intelligence that humans can generate, replacing hatred with hope for humankind. The oracle invites you to cultivate faith and build your energy reserve steadily. Know that you will be able to surmount any issues of concern. Through connection to your heart wisdom, a negative trend will naturally be reserved and a new path from surviving to thriving will be created. Giant pandas are creative creatures, gentle creatures. They need plenty of food and rest to survive. The soul medicine of Panda is a call to embrace nurturance and give the vulnerable parts of us the love and attention that they need. Giant pandas need quiet time so their heightened sensitivities are not overwhelmed. They thrive with sufficient space and peace and quiet and can otherwise feel stressed and threatened. Panda wisdom reminds us of the essential restorative and life-affirming nature of peace. If there is too much happening within you or around you, finding ways to retreat into peace of mind is important when Panda makes its appearance. So too is taking time out for personal space and allowing yourself to dictate the level of social involvement that you feel comfortable with at the time. It may be less than usual. Panda has some social interaction, but is largely a creature of solitude. Soul medicine of the giant panda can teach us how to recognize when we need to take time out for ourselves and how to step back from social engagements to nurture and replenish our energies without guilt or fear. Red pandas are similarly solitary and have a wild temperament, but with quite a bite when need be. One ought not be fooled by the panda's soft and fluffy appearance, nor should you underestimate the power of your anger when roused. Panda can help humans embrace their gentle side without becoming a pushover. Even setting boundaries or navigating a fierce dispute can sometimes be best accomplished through gentleness. Sometimes a bite may be the panda's preferred method of negotiation, But that is only when absolutely necessary or when overly stressed. If you need to put your foot down and assert a strong, clear boundary, do it. I love that. Panda. So we have panda, which is bear, and we have bear, which is bear. We had 2 bear cards today. I love how the synchronicity of the universe works sometimes. Okay, so bear is waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. When in balance, inner strength yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, heaviness, bringing into balance, movement, exercise. And the panda, which seems to be very much about hope, spiritual intelligence needed for creative healing, resolution, transforming opportunity and soulful manifestation, new possibilities, and also rest. Like when you really need to be in isolation and rest, and creating good boundaries and knowing when it is to step up to your plate and engage the way you need to. I think that's pretty straightforward. Let me think on this for a minute. So first thing is, I didn't look at the cards at all this morning. I've been kind of putzing around, having a hard time getting moving. So as soon as I pulled bear and read that, I thought, yep, this is me. I have a horrible time getting moving in the morning, but it's time to get moving. It's time to get going. I did my tuning forks, I did my physical exercise, and then I pulled cards, scheduled the YouTube, got my tea going, drank a cup of tea, did some journaling, came in front of y'all. So I haven't done any pre-daily devotional today, which is unusual for me. And I'm looking at the bear card when I first looked at it here a minute ago and went, wow, that's me. And then I'm looking at panda and I'm like, wow, panda is all about resilience, reparative intelligence within nature. And for a daily devotional with the bear card with it, it kind of interweaves together for me in this idea that, panda needs to have quiet time to themselves. They can be social, but kind of on their own terms. They need a lot of quiet time. They need a lot of restorative time. And I personally have been struggling with trying to figure out where my restorative time is. And yesterday, I created my seasonal discount code card, and I got some of my advertising cards ready to put out on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, and I arranged my schedule so that I could have extra time this winter season to make sure I had enough time to see a variety of clients. And I am excited. I'm so excited about the possibility of opening up more session time over the next 2 months. But that also means that I have to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? I need to be more protective, more boundary driven for my personal time. And that's a really hard thing to do in balance. And I think Panda is and Bear card is a really good card. This morning I woke up and I'm having, I think, a corn reaction. I think I got some corn yesterday and some food by accident. And so when Panda and Bear need restoration, they go inside. right? They isolate. And I think that there is value in recognizing, like, when you have to cancel appointments and honoring yourself and being honest with people when you have to cancel things and honoring when you really need to pull back. And that's a hard thing for me. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if y'all have ever struggled with this. I have really struggled with it. My whole life, which is, if you make an appointment, if you schedule something with somebody, you should just do it. And it's really hard sometimes to just face that sometimes you have to cancel things, sometimes you have to go a little slower, sometimes you're late, sometimes you just have to nurture you and your connection with your meat suit environment to make that work. And as I say that, I'm reminded again of this Friday. We have a identification with Body of Nine, and it's in the evening. It's at 7 o'clock in the evening after a full day of class. It's our quarterly training. And I love to do identifications. I'm learning. I am woohoo certified practitioner. But the downside is that it's 7 o'clock at night. I can't do that. And it's painful for me. I mean, it's literally painful in my physical body to not be able to go to that at 7 o'clock at night. I have had to communicate several times that I can't do it as much as I want to. Like, it's painful for me to say no. And so I think I'm struggling with not being able to go to the event on Friday. Oh, hey, Kat. Red Panda is me. I'm protective about my personal time so much it goes into isolation. I need to find a balance to go out and interact with people. Yes. Yes, 100%. I get that. I think that there is this societal thing that happens, right? Like, I was raised in a generation that you make an appointment, you do the appointment, you don't cancel. And as I got older, I realized that that was so toxic. Like, you sometimes have to cancel things. Sometimes you just have to move things out. Sometimes you have to rearrange stuff. And I got much better at time management for moving things around on my schedule and trying to pre-plan, right? Like, pre-plan the time that I'm gonna need to myself. Unfortunately, the universe has a totally different timing schedule on that, and I'm not always going to be accurate. And I was thinking the other day, like, wow, I need to do some more sewing time. I've figured out how to integrate the embroidery recently. I've gotten a new burst of energy with that, but I really need to do some sewing. And I'm struggling. I'm really struggling with the guilt, shame thing that happens with having clients, having friends, having this certification training that I'm going through. So, like, I really want to go to this Friday evening's event, and I'm telling all of my clients about it. I want everybody to go, but at the same time, I'm not going to be there. And I feel kind of bad about it, but I can't make myself go at 7 o'clock at night. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. And even this morning, when I got up at 5, I rolled over and kind of laid there for half an hour, and I did my multidimensional healing team session. I didn't actually get up out of bed till closer to 5:45, which, you know, when you get up later and later, it just kind of affects everything. And these bear cards today are really resonating with me at like a soul level of, I need to find time today to maybe take a nap later today. I've got to teach a class, so I have a commitment to that, and that I can't cancel because there's only 5 sessions, and they're very long and they're very intense, and these wonderful students have done a lot of preparation. But I really am resonating with these bear cards today. You know, this also reminds me of the ecological connection to panda. I don't know if y'all know this, but the panda in the United States, even the presence in our zoos, has been a very special thing because China is the only place in the world that has pandas native, okay? And China has used gifting pandas to the rest of the world as a diplomatic lending. We don't own any pandas in the United States. So all the zoos that have pandas have all been basically told by China that they're going to have to give back their pandas when their panda contract is up. And they're mad because of the international political, they feel picked on, basically. Right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't know all the ins and outs, but the United States and other countries in the world are losing their pandas, and China is taking them back. And pandas are inordinately delicate creatures in so many ways. And when they are moved and when they are transported, it takes them months, I mean months, even years to recover from that. And they are already very difficult to breed in captivity. And as much as science has moved forward on the breeding of pandas, they are still endangered creatures. All of the pandas are, black and white and red pandas. And I think it's worth paying attention to how our countries around the world are interwoven. I think countries have a tendency to go into this isolationist, well, that's happening on the other side of the world thing, it's not me. And I say countries as in the individual people in the country. The more privilege they gain in the United States, it seems like the more isolationist they get. Because the other medicine that panda brings is transformation through being aware of the interconnectedness that we have with Earth herself and with our ecology and with our environment. And I don't mean just your local environment of, excuse me, wherever you are in Montana, Idaho, Utah, whatever, but our environment is the world. And I think that in Western culture, that's forgotten. I think that people forget, you know, once they have their computer and their iPad and their books, right? Like, do I know where the tree was that created this book? Do I know where the plant was that printed this book? I don't. And I should probably know that. We have become very disconnected. So panda for me, minus the meanings of the book, panda for me has always been a symbol for my connection to Earth herself in a very tenuous, seriously needing to find balance way. And bear, that card for me personally has always meant the fluctuation of energy in the cycles of the seasons, and that sometimes the seasons are cold and yet there's life in that cold. Like a bear, I remember being absolutely fascinated by hibernation as a child, like learning about hibernation, and absolutely fascinated that an animal could, because I lived in the South when I was little, so there's not a lot of hibernation in the South. But I was absolutely fascinated with the concept that an animal could go into a cave and sleep for 3 to 6 months out of the year and come out of that, yes, hungry, maybe having given birth to cubs, and thrive. What is the amazing transformative opportunity of hibernation? Going into isolation, nurturing the self, connecting into the heartbeat of Earth herself in the slowest time, and then coming out alive. Isn't that a beautiful, transformative analogy? I've always loved hibernating animals. They fascinate me. So I'm going to leave you with that on the cards. I think, Kat, you're probably still there. Did you have any questions this morning? I'm starting to open up the tail end of daily devotions for questions, ideas. Oh, I've been collecting names of oracle cards. I have a bucket here. I've got 25 different oracle cards, and this Friday for Daily Devotions Live, I am going to draw 2 sheets of paper out of the bucket, and I'm going to order 2 oracle card decks. So I'm going to do a live drawing on Friday so everybody can see which cards I pick. So yay! I think that I'll be out of the current decks process by solstice, probably before solstice. But anybody have any questions this morning? Anybody have any more oracle deck ideas? No questions? Okay. Well, I hope you all have a beautiful day. Again, this is Red Moon Eagle with Daily Devotions. It is November 29th, Wednesday. It is now 7:11. We have been live for 27 minutes, 28 or 29 by the time I get done talking. Please hit subscribe and hit the bell icon. I am going to be starting a new method I'm going to try here with scheduling the live when I get up in the morning so you have a better idea of when I start, and that should trigger in the YouTube system to let you know I'm going to be starting. And then I'm going to spend probably the last 4 to 5 minutes-ish on the daily devotions, answering questions or maybe discussing things if anybody has anything that they want to put in the chat. Also, those of you that watch this later in the day, when you get up, get moving, because I know my daily devotions are really early, I encourage you to make comments in the chat. Really, really, really engage, because that engagement really helps the algorithm. I am working towards looking at figuring out how to integrate some different apps to have this go across apps, because I know not everybody's on YouTube or does that, but that costs money. Haven't found an app yet that doesn't cost me. There's some free apps that let me do, I think the most recent one I looked at was, it'll let me go live twice a month, and we do this Monday through Friday, so so the more you comment, the more you watch the YouTube channel, the more you share these with your friends, the more it helps the algorithm and helps me get to a place where maybe it'll trigger some of the free opportunities. So have a beautiful day, my friends, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.